customers and prospects. So I apologize for my late posting of new content. So anyway, I wanted to give you my overview of the ConExpo in Las Vegas. So for those of you who don't know what ConExpo is, it's a huge trade show for, of course, the construction industry, asphalt business, all kinds of tractors, and just unbelievable amount of equipment. It was just so overwhelming. Over 2,000 exhibitors, 190 educational sessions, 2.8 million square feet of exhibits, if you can believe that. I didn't believe it until I finally saw it, and I was there, and my feet were hurting. Like the first day, my feet were killing me. So it's definitely a very advanced show as far as content and as far as huge companies. You got companies like Caterpillar there. You got companies like John Deere. They had a huge exhibition. I've never even seen an exhibition that big at a trade shows. The trade shows I go to are water and wastewater focused, so they just don't have the budget that these guys do. And wow, I was just blown away. I've never seen anything like it before. So it was pretty overwhelming at first, but definitely worth it if you're in the utility business, I think, to go, especially if you're like an equipment manager or a fleet supervisor. Definitely good for utilities to go. So I'm going to talk about that for a little bit, not too long, but I just want to tell you my experience. And I do think it's important for utilities to go. And I'm going to give you a couple reasons why. So, and I'm going to give you some B-roll here that you can see on the YouTube channel. It's just some video I took of all the equipment and some of the classes I took. And we're going to get into that right now. Okay. Okay. So one of the problems in the construction company, which I kind of knew about because I know utility work as well, it's a problem, is the lack of young people. So they heavily talked about the situation at the ConExpo, which was, it seems like it's a big problem. It's just not enough young people want to be in the construction, even utility work. You don't see a lot of young people when I go to these yards. It's always like guys over 35, and you rarely see under 30 age group in these type of industries. So the construction company is trying to make up for those numbers. And that's one of the reasons why renting, housing is so expensive now, is because it's more and more expensive to hire workers. They don't have these young workers coming in for early pay. Everybody wants to get paid, when you're in 30s and 40s, you want to get paid more, which I understand as well. So they focus, this whole theme of this ConExpo was heavy on automation. Everywhere I went, I saw, robots. I saw like people on screens doing all these things with these different mechanical arms. I also saw like automated, like lifting. I don't know what you would call them, like lifting machines. Like I think they call them material handling equipment. So, which I thought was cool. They also had this welding like machine that actually welds, which I thought was really cool. Hopefully I can show you in the video. I only got a brief video of it. But it was really interesting. So you're talking about complete automation they're not there yet, of course. That takes time. This equipment's expensive. It needs maintenance, and then the decision making behind all that. I'm sure there's a lot of kinks they have to get through, but still very, very interesting. And they also said that another problem is the immigration problem. There's not as much immigrants coming into, especially here in the United States, into this industry. So before, there was a steady flow of young people, immigrants, so that would make up for the workforce. But now we're not there anymore. So that's why throughout this this whole show, it was all about automation. You just saw a lot of cool stuff on machines kind of working by themselves, and they have GPS, they have cameras, and it was just really interesting to see. So I'm going to try to show some of this in the B-roll for my video here, and hopefully you kind of get a gist of what I do. Or I'm not what I do, what I saw rather. So also heavy machinery, a lot of heavy machinery was there, big tractors, big earth movers. One of the coolest things I saw was a cement truck that could mix different types of batches of concrete, which I thought was really cool. I mean, it's so like it would mix one batch of concrete and then another type and another type of gravel or whatever. I don't really understand. I'm not in the business, so I don't really understand it. But I thought it was really cool, and they did a whole demo on that. Also, the Caterpillar was doing all these huge like demos, and just the amount of equipment that was there, it was so overwhelming. I don't see how anybody could see it the whole time. This whole show is like I think it's 7 days, so it's and 300,000 visitors. So that's like 100,000, almost 100,000 people a day on the main exhibit days. So yeah, I've never seen anything like that. So that's huge. Also, I got to see some of my manufacturers, some manufacturers I do business with, and some that I occasionally do business with. So like, people like Kuriyama was there. I saw some host cap. They're called Cap Plug, I believe. They were there. Rain for Rent was there. They're a common in the utility business. Dixon was there. They're huge on the Camlock side of wastewater and water couplings rather. So there was some crossover from the utility to the construction side of things, and how it's good to see how that plays out, because you don't, when you think utility, you don't think construction most of the time. At least I don't. And when I was there, you saw a lot of like companies that also do utility, help the utility industry. So which was interesting. So I think it's good for cross reference. Like, you should always try to go to an event that's like not in your industry but kind of related, just because you get more ideas, you get more type of sharing thoughts that you probably don't think about, when you're kind of in your little industry and you're kind of specific, and you kind of are just, it's more repetitive. So it just helps to do some critical thinking on how to help these industries out when you're out in the field anyway. So I went to a couple classes. I learned a lot about renting versus buying, which I know my business, we're trying to get into the renting business. It's really tough, but it sounded like, the way they made it sound, it says like the economy is going towards a shared economy. Some of the statistics I wrote down was that, let's see here, that I have it written down right here, that 20% of equipment is rented to buy, which I didn't know. 46% keeping what they have. Now, a lot of people are not upgrading. 50% of equipment is rented, up from 5 years ago. So, which I thought was crazy too. Like that means a lot of people are buying. Renting, but still not on the same levels as buying. So, I think it is going to go that way. I think rental equipment is huge. I think it's going to get bigger. So they went into that, and how tough it is for even construction companies to decide what to rent, what to buy, because you have repairs, you have and then when it's just sitting there, that's also a cost. Utilization, supply chain issues, if you can't get the parts to repair the equipment. So there's a lot of downtime, but rental companies do make money on small equipment the most. So, they were also saying that renting small equipment is better than renting the big equipment. So, I'm sorry, vice versa. I apologize. You got a rental companies make more money on smaller equipment than they do on big equipment. So one of the speakers there, he was like, try to rent your big equipment and try to buy your small size equipment. That's what I'm trying to say. So I apologize. I got you mixed up there. So, and you just got to make sure. And this guy said, I'll give you his name. I'll try to get his name in the description. But he was really knowledgeable. He had a construction company, and he always had to go through these numbers about renting versus buying. So I definitely learned a whole lot about renting versus buying, because I know we would like to get into that business, is renting our lay flat hose solutions and our hose reels out. I think that would be even better. I think my customers would love it. So Another thing they went into is, you know, a lot of the tax savings when you own, also when it comes to um, machine dependability, risk management, loss damage waivers. It was all kinds of stuff. So it was good to know. And he gave a really good reference to the American Rental Association. You can download all this stuff that, you know, kind of like all these little PDFs that help you distinguish, you know, what should I rent or versus buy. So I think it's really good for utility workers to kind of go through that and, you know, see, hey, can we really afford to rent, or can we afford to buy, which is better, you know, as far as tax savings and, you know, all the uptime and downtime. So, you know, that's basically what the show was about. It's more of a equipment. It's more of an exhibit than it is a class, you know, workshop type of thing. I mean, it was a lot of classes and workshops, don't get me wrong, but I found that it was more geared towards, you know, exhibit space. The exhibit space it's crazy. It's like there's multiple floors and multiple buildings. There's the actual Las Vegas Convention Center is like almost, I think it's 3/4 of a mile. That's how long it is to walk. So it's like 20 minutes to walk from one side to the next. So to get around this, they built the Tesla loop. I don't know if you heard this, but it's a loop that goes under Vegas, right? And it's tunnels, and it's a bunch of Teslas, and, you know, Elon Musk made it. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know. They want to expand it to the Las Vegas Strip. I don't know how that's going to work, but because you're riding with random people, and why not just build a monorail? Because I guess they're gonna destroy the monorail, and they're gonna put a Tesla loop, and they're gonna basically dig underground and go right under the Strip, so you can catch these Tesla loops in, you know, various stations. So it's still better than what it is now. I mean, when the Strip is so crowded all the time, I'm sure it would help with congestion and all that. But I don't see why they would just put a monorail in. That makes more sense to me. But I don't know. We live in a world where it's you got to go where who's willing to help in the world of capitalism. So I understand that. But it was really cool. I took some video of it, so I'm gonna put it on the YouTube channel. If you can take a look at it, it's pretty cool. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I don't want to make this video too long. Definitely, the ConExpo is a crazy show. I'd recommend it to anybody who wants to know more about the construction industry, you know, asphalt industry, the crane industry, all that stuff. Definitely. And if, like I said, the classes were cool too. I did think that I had some three good solid classes I thought were definitely worth my time. So you learned a lot in this trade show. So those are my thoughts on the ConExpo. Let me know what you think. You know, was it worth it for you? Did you go? What did you think? So be great to hear from you. Or I even have some stuff on LinkedIn about this. So, you know, feel free to comment on my pictures or whatever, and be great to hear from you. Okay, so I will be releasing another episode probably next week about more on the water side, and I will let you know what's that about. So hope everybody is good and off to a good year, and hopefully I'll talk to you guys soon. And be sure to subscribe to all my social media channels and my YouTube channel, and also my email newsletter if you would like these to be sent directly into your inbox. All right. Thank you very much, and be safe out there, and always think ahead. Thanks.